good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everyone, everywhere, depending on where and when you are joining Africa Online TV. Well, it's a beautiful, sunny 51 degrees down here where I am today. What's it looking like outside your door? Today is the second Sunday of February, and while we're usually focusing on Black History Month and or Valentine's Day, today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. And it does also involve our African American people on the continent and here in the diaspora as well. So you were excited. You had your baby and you were told that you were going to have a beautiful baby girl, baby boy. And then after a couple visits, the doctor tells you that they see something wrong or there's something going to be developing wrong. And now you are in a state of anxiety. You're anxious for the baby to be born. And then once the baby is born, then you get this horrible, terrible diagnosis, or at least that's what you think. Sometimes you don't know where to go, you don't know where to run, you don't know, what is your next step? Because you would just had your heart set on this beautiful baby with 10 fingers and 10 toes and had a beautiful smile and a head full of hair. But that is not actually the diagnosis you get. Where do we go from there? Today, we're going to talk about the mission beyond diagnosis. And we have an expert in the field. She's an author of a book called Missions Beyond Diagnosis. So if that happens to be you, or that has happened to you, we've got answers for you today, and we're going to talk about it. So again, welcome to Africa Online. And now turn it over for the editorial of the day with my co-host, Professor Nia-san. How are you today, my brother? And what's it looking like up in your neck of the woods?
Well, my neck of the woods, you will not believe it, but it is chilly. Call it deceptive sunshine out there. You step out, you think there is sunshine, but you are freezing. It is that kind of weather. It has been so for the past 3 days or so. And of course, the freeze, the weather people keep telling us will continue. Whatever it is, we brave it, we do what we have to do, and we do what we always do. Today, Sunday, the 8th day of February, happens to be the 39th day of the year 2026, and we have 326 days left before we call it quits for this year. It is the 6th Sunday of 2026 and the 50th day of winter. Yes, Ambassador Lisa, we still have 40 days journey, a 40-day journey actually to do before we get to that weather you like very much, spring. It has a 40-day journey to get here. It will get here eventually. It always does. Need some fun? Well, of course, we always need fun. So I may be asking, well, today is National Kite Flying Day, a day that invites us to step outside, weather permitting, and do something delightfully low-tech. National Kite Flying Day is today and, quote, celebrates the simple thrill of coaxing fabric, paper, and sticks into the sky, then steering that little speck of color through invisible currents, end of quote. Today is also National Boy Scout Day. Remember the scout people, the scouts, of course, when you were young, they always encouraged you to join the Boy Scout or Girl Scout or whatever, or Girl Guides, whatever they called it. Whatever, today is National Boy Scout Day, a moment to spend time in nature, go camping, build a campfire, and enjoy some delicious camp food. And don't forget to pack a first aid kit just in case. A first aid kit, did you say? Yes, because it is a necessity in almost every circumstance. So lay back and listen to Africa Online Media Corporation as we welcome our main guest to the program today. It may not be about a first aid kit. Rather, it is about what we began talking about last week, honoring African Americans, honoring Black history. Remember that 2026 marks a century of national commemorations of Black history. And last week, we celebrated those inventors and inventions that made the day during those 100-year period. That was from 1926 to this year, 2026. Today, we come round full circle to celebrate someone who has also left an imprint on the sands of time by chronicling her experiences. She has written a book, Mission Beyond Diagnosis, a topic that will live a lifetime with humanity because it discusses some vital healing issues, health issues rather, not healing, health issues. The chair of AfricaOnline Media Corporation, Her Majesty, Her Royal Highness rather, Reverend Palm, will now take the floor to introduce our guests to us. So, Ambassador, no, not Ambassador, Your Highness, over to you. I always get confused.
No, don't be, because the titles keep adding up. Thank you so much, Nia Song. You still rock. You are so amazing. On behalf of AfricaOnline Media Corporation, I want to appreciate you, Nia Song. Next month will make us 10 years on the air. You know, I can't believe this. You know, so, and I want to welcome all our viewers, those who are watching live on YouTube, those who will watch on Facebook later, those who are joining us for the first time. And our guest, it's going to be difficult for me to introduce her, even though I've known her since 2023. So I don't want to be unjust to her. So I'm actually going to have her take a moment and introduce herself to our listeners. But I want to acknowledge Ambassador Lisa, our co-anchor, Dr. Crosslin, our beauty queen, and all those who are joining us. I'm not going to be able to say all the names. So Dr. Judith Foyabo, I would like to welcome you to AfricaOnline for your second time. I think it was last year you were on here in April talking about financial literacy. But what you're about to discuss today is life transforming. And it is beyond financial literacy. I want to, in Cameroon, they say, Kotu Cafe. I want to salute you and laud your effort and your courage in inviting the whole world into your inner man, like we say. This book is raw, it is authentic, it's not AI enabled, and I want to encourage everyone to get the book, Mission Beyond Diagnosis. The book, Mission Beyond Diagnosis, is actually beyond diagnosis. It's a mission beyond diagnosis of itself. I encourage everyone to get the book. I got the Kindle version the same day, and I'm going to encourage everybody have to use a headphone because of where I am. I encourage everyone to get the book. I'm not done reading it yet, but what I've read so far, I am impressed. And it takes courage to do what you have done. And you will never know how many lives you have transformed, how many families you have helped, and especially the number of people that have been enlightened and educated by your story. Because in our community, both on the continent and here, there's a lot of ignorance about this topic. So Dr. Foyabo, you are warmly welcome, and please take a moment to introduce yourself to our listeners.
Wow, that did not sound like me. Thank you so much. I am honored to be here. I'm grateful to be here. I'm thankful to God for taking me through all what I went through and was able to put it in the public, just like Dr. Honorable. If I start naming titles, we'll probably finish this tomorrow. Thank you. Honored. I'm so honored to be here. I'm happy to see my friends, those who are watching online and those who are yet to watch after this. I want to thank you, Ma Pam, as I call you, but I do know that you carry a lot more titles. Thank you for inviting me here. I want to follow all the protocols respected in the house. The ambassador, prophetess, Lisa Parks, and our one and only Ni professor as well, Nia Song, the song Lefak Nkem Lekek. For those of you who don't know, he is way out there.
The legend.
So, yes, the very legend himself, the one and only.
I feel so intimidated when I hear all those titles.
You deserve it. You deserve
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Yes, you deserve it. So my name is Dr. Judith Foyabo. Before I ventured into the financial space, just like the Reverend Pamela Fomunu just said, I was a mother, a nurse practitioner. You can say that I am a career chameleon as well. I've got 6 degrees in my back pocket. It can burn up like a thermometer. And I am recently an author. That sounds really great. I am the author of Mission Beyond Diagnosis. And this is a mother's story about disability, determination, and financial foresight. I am going to be talking about the book today. I just wanted to give you that brief introduction of who I am and what I do every day for the last 21 years as a caregiver, a wife, a career woman, a nurse practitioner, and a financial professional. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Foyabo. Before the anchors take the mic, I want to inform those who are joining us for the first time, this show is unscripted. So when you hear somebody jumps in, we're not being disrespectful. The show is unscripted, and that's what makes it authentic. We did not have a private meeting with Dr. Foyabo to tell her what she's going to be asked. Those of you from Cameroon, you all know the name Asonglefan Kemleke, the icon, the journalistic icon, and retired professor of journalism. So they don't come any better than him. And Ambassador Lisa is not far behind. So everybody on this call is going to get a chance to either make a comment or ask a question. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that this program is unscripted, and it's our airtime. It's normally a 90-minute program, but sometimes we extend it to 2 hours. There was one time we even just wanted to keep going, about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So over to you, Ambassador Lisa.
Thank you, Reverend Pan. So we want to talk about, again, as I said earlier in my comments, your child is born or you're still carrying and you get a diagnosis that your child is not going to be, quote unquote, 100% full, or at least as you expect, and you've gotten a terrible diagnosis. Again, we have a mother here who has not only had the experience, but she has walked through and she's got some expertise. And I, for one, am excited to hear how she has handled the holistic counseling portion of it, because holistic is what we need. We don't need just someone just trying to point medicines at us, but what is the holistic care? How do you get that holistic team? So I think that's going to be my first question. Doc, how do we find that holistic team that we need to help us with our child and the diagnosis?
Thank you for that
Okay.
question, Ambassador. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Holistic really embodies everything around a person, and that includes the environment, resources, the people they rely on, and the people that help them stand, sit, go through life, and how they go through life with what they have. So being holistic in this sense, for me, it was my family, my husband, my greatest cheerleader, my sisters, my family, my friends, and then I had the know-how as a scientist. I did a lot of research. And then I am looking up to the professionals, That is one thing that is missing in our community. Not looking up to the professionals, going to whatever thing they want to look up to. If you are a Christian, faith is your backbone, but never let faith without action rule your life. Does that make sense? So
Yes,
when
it
you
does.
get holistic, you are really putting into practice everything you know, everyone you know, communication, and making sure that if you are not available, you are not present, there is a reason for that. It takes away doubt, it takes away responsibilities that someone is expecting from you. So that's how I see holistic living. It is being responsible, reducing expectations, making use of all your resources, communicating and talking to the people that matter.
Hello?
When you got ready to, build your village, especially when you begin to look at the professionals, the doctors, did you find opposition in the doctors that you were coming against, saying, I want to include my family in helping me. I want my family to come to doctor's appointments. I want them to have an input in how things are done here. Did you find any doctors that were resistant to your holistic family and friends approach?
No, on the
Okay.
contrary, doctors and professionals rely on family input. Yes, some of them may have personal, financial agenda, in quotes, that they may want to they may want to push, but they always advise that you get all your ducks in a row. So I can't say that I had pushbacks. What I had really was people, professionals finding it hard to incorporate what I was trying to bring up. For example, if I wanted to speak Mungaka, which is my dialect, to my non-verbal child, I had pushback. But they are the professionals. I do understand that language can be picked up, any language, when you're much younger, easier.
Yes.
So, but because these professionals send therapists to us and they want a specific timeline to achieve a specific result or have a particular outcome, certain things will be pushed out. For example, we were told to speak only one language to make it easier for our non-verbal child to follow up speech therapy. My son, who was diagnosed at the time, had his grandma who spoke the language the entire time. So the little bit that his sister had picked up before him having his language problem became a problem. So we lost that part of our culture that we wanted for our children because of that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Uh, I have another question. But I'm sorry, the dog just came in and is attacking me.
Okay.
Nia-san, take over while I deal with
Okay,
this
Nia,
issue.
before you weigh in, I just want to alert you that Dr. Crossland's hand has been up and her hands are getting tired. She's been holding her hand up for a long time. So, Nia, maybe we should hear from her and then you take over, please.
Dr. Crossland, I don't want to do injustice to you. I don't want your hand to remain up forever. So please go right ahead and ask Dr. Foyabo your question.
Okay, thank you so much, Her Excellency Queen Mother Ambassador Dr. Pam Fumanong, for this platform and this genius idea that you came up with. It just makes my heart overflow with gratitude and honor for you. And for Ambassador Lisa, who's running after her little doggy right now, and everything Prophetess Lisa, what she does, and to you, Professor Nia-san, and to our keynote speaker, congratulations on your book. I have invited one of my dear girlfriends. She also has a book. She also teaches financial literacy. She developed an online program for learning investment. I took it, best class I've ever taken. I read her book, best book I've ever read. And full disclosure to all of the global audience that's listening in, we do acknowledge your loss after diagnosis of your child or family member. We're so sad. And Dr. Fletcher, beyond diagnosis, she'll tell you her own story, but we don't want to forget and honor and have a moment of silence to those who have lost their loved ones to disabilities. And I also want to thank Dr. Joshua, who is a brain doctor. If you have any questions, you guys feel free to ask him, because he also is a medical doctor, brain doctor, and he's joining in today. So I just wanted to give the full disclosure that we do have a moment of silence, and we do honor everyone who has lost their family member, and we don't take it lightly to a disability. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Dr.
very
Maria.
much.
Appreciate that.
Yes. So here I go with my personal question, because as a journalist, the journalist in me tells me to ask that probing question. Dr. Foyabo, what was the final motivation for bringing out Beyond Diagnosis?
No, Nia-san, Mission Beyond Diagnosis.
Mission, yeah, that's right, Mission Beyond Diagnosis. What was the final motivation?
I wouldn't say I was motivated. I think the real reason I wrote this book centers around the fact that a lot was going on and no one was saying anything about it, especially in my community. That was the first reason. Even though that haunted me for over 20 years before it saw the pages of a book. I met someone whom I thought had a child suffering from a developmental disability like myself in our community. And I approached her and she gave me a cold shoulder. I tried again. I said, I have read. There's something we can do. And she kept quiet. It was not because of denial, I wouldn't say. It was probably lack of understanding and fear. Culture is something that we carry, and we don't know that we exhibit it even to our detriment. I had to widen my circle when I found out our people had the same problem like myself, but not seeking help and not coming together to help each other. So I expounded and I went to other communities, to other mothers, even people that didn't speak the same language as myself, to get help, to get support. We were dealing with a condition that had no cure. Nobody knew where it came from. Nobody knew why people were suffering from it. So you just We just needed to make that connection. And I kept this all this while, and it was time for us to say, for us, my family, and everyone else, the world needs to know about this. Women carry invisible responsibilities, and they carry it with strength, resilience, but nobody knows what they're going through. I had to make myself vulnerable because in my community, people with disabilities were either put out downstairs, hidden from everyone else. It was a taboo subject. And because of that, people did not get the help that they needed. They waited when it was beyond treatment and then started to seek help. So me looking at this, I joined a group of women way out of my community, and we shared what I thought was very helpful. And I came back and I shared it with my friend who couldn't join me to start one in our community. I shared it. I said, I heard about cod liver oil. Have you ever tried that? I gave it to my son. It didn't make a difference. It didn't do anything. Can you try it? She did. And it helped. She called me and said, my son is a little stable. He's not going all over the place. It was not for me, but I hoped it was for me, but it didn't work. But it helped her. I joined another group. If you read the book, you'll find it, Rescue Angels. If anyone knows who Jenny McCarthy is, he was, I think she still is. She's a Hollywood actress. She had a child with autism, and she was powerful those days. I'm talking about 2002. I'm not talking now. And her son's name is I don't remember, but she had what was called Generation Rescue, and I signed up to be a rescue angel. Rescue angel just meant answer the phone when somebody calls with a new diagnosis. All we did was listen. But before you listen, you cry. You cry a little bit and then tell them where the resources are, what to do. And I have not forgotten this Russian woman. She couldn't even speak English. And all we did was cry. So, yes, it was lack of resources, lack of knowledge, and fear, people bearing what we were carrying, that made me say, one day I will write it. As we go forward, I would let you know the actual incident that finally took it out of my head into the pages of a book.
Okay,
That's
Nielsen, can you see the
No,
hands,
no.
Dr.
Yeah,
Fletcher and
we're gonna get to the hands in a minute. We want to hear more from our speaker, and then we will have comments and questions from our audience. Now, you were saying, Doc, that your village, you talked about your language first and the inability for the doctors to connect with that, not wanting it. Can we ask where exactly is your village? Where are you from? Because I know for a fact that in Africa, finding help with disability or disabled children is far and before, and I didn't find that information in your bio when I looked it up. So where are we
I
on the continent or are we here in the diaspora?
I'm currently in Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles. Hello, it's
Okay.
82 degrees. I'm sorry for those who are buried under the snow.
Shame on you for telling us that. Okay.
Okay, that said, I am originally from Cameroon. The continent is Africa, the country is Cameroon. and the region is Northwest Province, and my village is called Bali, B-A-L-I. We speak Mungaka.
Break it
So
down. No, Bali Nyonga, not just Bali. There are 7 Balis. Bali
yes,
Nyonga, break it down.
yes, there's
Okay.
7 Balis, and I come from the
Wow.
Balinyonga people. And I grew up in Cameroon until age 20 when I went to Nigeria and studied microbiology. And then from there, I came to the United States some 30 years ago.
Wonderful. Nia-san, where'd he go? I don't see him.
Oh,
So,
Nielsen is here.
I'm sorry, you're here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, your space is blank. I hear your voice, but you are blank.
No, go
Ambassador
ahead,
Lisa,
go
do
ahead.
you
I'm
need
here.
a second pair of glasses?
No, his space is blank. It's
No,
blank
you're
here. You
looking
see
at
him?
D.
No,
D is blank.
we can see Nia song. So
I'll tell you, his space is blank. It's just
No,
black where he speaks. So, we have a lot of people online, and we do want to get to all of the people who are here. We're going to start calling on. Now, before I do that, Ania Song has disappeared for real this time. This time we're going to have questions for our guest speaker. If you have a question for our guest speaker, this is the time that we're going to take those questions. And I see Dr. Jose, his hand has been up, so we're going to call on him for a question or a comment at this time. And then we'll go to Karen Fletcher.
okay.
So I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Reverend Pam?
No. I think we lost Karen, but she's back. So yeah, so let's go to Dr. Josue, then we'll come to her. Dr. Josue, please kindly unmute yourself. You're muted.
You're still muted.
Hi guys, thank you for doing this great work, and the doctor too. Thank you for sharing with us. And can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for sharing with us and your suffering. We do uh, appreciate you sharing with us. And I just wanted to say hi and Dr. Pam from everyone, uh, Prophetess Lisa Parks, all the great work you're doing, all the great work you're doing. And I just wanted to mention that I think you mentioned cod liver oil. It's anti-inflammatory, and unfortunately, sometimes it works for some people. Sometimes it doesn't work. But I just wanted to say hi and saying that I'm supporting the great work you're doing and looking forward to collaborating more.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much, Dr. Josue. And please be sure to get the book. I'll send you the link. Thank you.
I guess we want to make sure we get that.
And be safe out there.
Sister Karen, Ms.
Hi.
Fletcher, welcome to Africa Online.
Yes. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having this platform for us to discuss and talk about the differences in the areas of needing help and assistance for those, our loved ones. I'm a mother of an autistic young man who has passed away. But during that, and I've also written a book as well, during that time, it was very clear to me that there are differences, there are services that are different for different races. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
I personally have Medicaid here in the United States on 3 occasions before we could get a Medicaid waiver for the support we needed for my son. Now, I was going to ask the guest speaker, when her loved one was diagnosed, was it here in the United States or was it in Cameroon? What has she found in her studies to compare the services there to the services here? And what does she recommend to, say, for instance, young families who are raising a person, whether it's autism or ADHD or whatever the case may be, whatever debilitating case it may be, to get support? Are there support services in her area or across the country that she's aware of? I know that like Autism Society of America, that's one, but what would she encourage? How would she encourage individuals who perhaps did not have that cluster of family members and friends to support them? what type of information would she offer them so that they would get some supportive help as well? So there's really 2 or 3 questions there, but I'll just turn it over to her. Thank you.
Thank you so
I was
much.
trying to
Go
write
ahead,
to
Doc.
see if I can
Yes.
get all the questions in. Okay. First, I had both my children in the United States. There is still not a disability or any form of resources that I can really point to for where I come from. But there are a few that I'm supporting, and we are all working together to come up with something that is more reasonable back home. That said, our diagnosis happened here in the United States, in Los Angeles, California. There's something called the regional center. There are regional centers and there are regional centers. I believe by God's grace, we were in one of the best regional centers in the United States. To the point where when I got my degree and I couldn't practice in California due to California states, we were considering going elsewhere where I could practice, but that only came secondary. What does that mean? We could not leave our center. The regional center was one of the best. Now, resources really was whether you knew how to access them. That's to answer your second question. It is not that there are 2 types. First of all, in 2002, that was when I had my son. And then he was diagnosed at age 19 months. Now, that was really early. And we were told that at 19 months, we can see all the signs, and cognition was not even up to a 3-month-old. That was as severe as it gets. So just knowing where to go, what to do, and how to follow up, whether it's Medicare or not, fortunately, my husband had an amazing medical insurance. He literally paid like a third of his salary to get that. When we point it, they say, "Is that the one with the suitcase?" And then they bring all kinds of things that were not even necessary just to do that. But even then, we would not qualify for certain things. They were called experimental. I put that in the book. You can get more on that. So to answer that question, it was in the United States. Regional Center was our go-to place, and I did personal research. When I say personal, I went with or without medication. I read papers. I wrote letters to the regional center. I put my name on the waiting list for applied behavioral analysis, which was the only treatment at the time. And I waited for 5 months to get that. To get that, meaning to have him put on the list to get whatever they were giving. And when it was our turn, I did not want what they were giving because I had done my research. I
Okay.
knew the
Mm-hmm.
people that handled that part of the research. I had gone through their research. I had listened to them. So I wanted my child to get the best. So I waited. And to answer the other question, that would be how to encourage those. Or did I answer the first 2 questions?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you did. Mm-hmm.
So now, how to encourage family or other people who are going through this? For me, yes, my family was very instrumental, and that is because I opened up. So our first problem is that communication I was talking about. You have to open up to the people you love for 2 reasons. One, the word is called respite. Respite is taking time off from the person in question. You are a caregiver, and your person will run you down. I'm saying this in quotes. It's not intentional, it's their situation.
Right.
You have to refuel, you have to refresh, you have to rest because you are the one they got. If you are not there, they are worse off. So you have to do what I call respite. And you cannot get respite from friends, from family, from the regional center if you did not own up. You have to own up. Denial is not your friend. Refusing labels is equally not your friend. Some people say, oh, I don't want a label. The bigger, the better, the more extensive your label, the more help you get. Let that sink in, especially our faith and Christian community. Every human being is different. I say these people have different abilities and require different types of resources. So if they give you developmental delay, take it. They give you hyperactivity, take it. If they give you speech delay, take it. Anything. It stays on the paper. It does not sit on the child's forehead. So why
Like that.
refuse it and refuse care?
The
So
help.
say it out, talk it out to yourself, to your God, on your knees with your tears. Get up, do it. Get your resources and help the child. There were times when I had to do the work myself. I learned how to be a behavioral analyst. Go get a job. Go take care of other people's people, children with disabilities, from children to adults, just so that I can learn. So it's not just family, but family is the person that will come and cook and clean and sit, and then you go out. We didn't have family very, very close to us, but we had family in the same city, and they would help us, and we would go out and have a drink, sit at a bar, and watch movies as if
As we
nothing is waiting for us at
had that
home.
brain break.
Yes.
That is so necessary. Thank you, Dr. Judith and Karen. I hope that answers all your questions. But one thing she said that was very key, especially for those of you who are on the continent, we know the stigma of a child with disabilities. We know there are no services. But one thing that she said very clearly is that you must own up to the diagnosis. We can no longer, on the continent, put our children away. We can no longer hide them in the basement and act like they don't exist. We'll hide them away. We don't have basements in the on the continent. We can no longer hide them away if you want help. And as she has walked through this process, and Cameron, sounds like you have walked through this process as well. Someone has got to be the one who starts it. And then you can build from there. I remember going to the Ugandan consulate to renew my visa. And I was telling the secretary that what I was going home to do. I wanted to bring mental health first aid to Uganda and Kenya. And she had a child with disabilities, and her assignment was up, and she cried because she was terrified of taking her disabled child back home to Uganda where there were no services, and the child had been getting services here in the States. I'm like, well, maybe you can go there and start something. We have to be able, don't you have any doctors that you have talked to that you can take back home with you? They can come over and begin to insert or do something to bring some help. And I was there in 2010 and not knowing it, but I'm in Kenya, and my boss, I worked for the Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disabilities. And my boss was there in Kenya, in Nairobi, hosting one of the first mental health first aid conferences, bringing mental health education to the people there in Kenya. And I was so excited. I didn't know we were there in Nairobi together. It wasn't until we got back home that we got a chance to talk, and we found out that he has brought it there. So those of us on the continent, I'm speaking very clearly to our parents. We have got to begin to say what our children have and stop throwing them on the altar, thinking that it's a demon. It's a chemical imbalance. Dr. Joe, we're so excited that you are here sharing your a journey because our parents on the continent can begin to start a journey as well. Dr. Crossman, you have a question or comment?
Yes, a comment really quick. Her Excellency, and to you, Prophetess Lisa and Professor, to the guests, the global watchers here that will watch even the replay, and to our keynote speaker. It's kind of my experience. It's kind of embarrassing to I was visiting someone with a friend, and this person was like a well-known person throughout the community, very powerful man. And no one told me, but there was this other young man that was having an episode, like just talking to himself real loud and everything. I was embarrassed. I didn't know what to do. And later on, after I got to know everyone in that area a little bit better, I opened up and I started asking questions like, what can they do? What are they going to do? And then they started telling me the problems, like can't find beds, all kind of problems, to get this person help. And then when I met Dr. Fletcher, and she just opened right up and started explaining her experience. I don't know if she's still on the call or not.
Yes, she is.
Dr. Fletcher, are you?
Yes, she
Yeah.
is.
And yes, I don't know what her experience was like as far as getting the resources. I think that was part of her question too. I would like to hear a little bit about that. If you don't mind, can Dr. Fletcher share the resources that she was given? Because I want you guys to get her book, because I don't want to tell you what happened to her son, because I'm telling you guys, it's the best book ever. And let me just say one more thing real quick, not to step on the keynote speaker's toes or anything, but Dr. Fletcher's cousin, I was watching the Oscars, and the Oscars was going on and on about this Black guy, the first Black person to win an Oscar for a musical score in a movie. And I saw the whole thing, and I was talking to Dr. Fletcher about it, and she said, that's her cousin. And then I said, nuh-uh. No, I didn't say uh-uh. I said, well, I want to talk to him. Well, she invited the other one to come to Mr. DC, and he's saying it's a beautiful world. And I'm telling you, he played with the what's the famous guy name, Dr. Fletcher? Eddie Murphy now, all them over there.
Yes, yes. Yeah, he
Okay.
did. But to get back to your question, here's what we do on the East Coast. And I know things are a little bit different from one coast to the other. What I had to do was go before the Senate and Finance Committee to ask for specific dollars to be appropriated and allocated for mental health, separate from them grouping all kind of health issues or whatever into one pot of money. So what I had to ask them to do and go before and say, pull the money out that we need for those individuals who have disabilities, whether it's mentally or physical, but mainly mental, that is separate from somebody going into a rehab for drug addiction or something like that. Because when you group all the money, you're taking money away from individuals who did not have a choice and spreading it among people who had choices. So what we've done on the East Coast is a little bit different from what's on the West Coast in terms of fighting for dollars state by state to get allocated dollars appropriated, whether it's Medicaid waiver, whether it's state funds or what have you, so that individuals who may have family support or who don't have any family support can get the type of resources they need. But that's the answer to the question that I was looking for, and that's what's different from the East Coast to the West Coast. Thank you, Dr. Crossland.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
Dr.
you so
Fletcher.
much, Dr. Fletcher. Let me just say something. Dr. Crossley, you are a regular contributor on this show. You know it is unscripted. So you are not stepping on anybody's toes. This program is unscripted. And I want to encourage, we normally do this at the top of the hour, which we are approaching. Dr. Foyabo, please put the information about your book on the chat. I sent a message to Ethel earlier, maybe she didn't see it. Dr. Fletcher also put information about your book on the chat box. The more, the merrier. If you're wondering, this is Black History Month. We are discussing this topic. We normally do a health topic at the end of the month, but it is important that we discuss this Mission Beyond Diagnosis and Dr. Fletcher's book, or anything that has to do with issues that affect our people. This issue is bigger, not just on the continent. On the continent, they treat people with disability as if they have witchcraft. They call them all kinds of names they accumulated. And even in our communities here in the United States, like Dr. Foyabo said, she could not even find help in the community. So this is critical information. The show is unscripted. Everybody's going to get a chance to ask questions. So please do not walk on eggshell. We are here to raise awareness about an issue that affects our community, to seek solutions to those issues and make progress. So I just want to put that out there, and everybody's going to get a chance to speak. And anchors, it looked like we're going to extend this show, but I just wanted to weigh in on that. So I'm going to hand over to you, Dr. Ambassador Lisa. Or Nia Song, whoever is ready to go. Okay, Nia Song, you are muted. We have several people on there, so you can call them as they appear on your screen. Or if you need help, you are muted. If you need help, I'll call them. Okay, I see an Elizabeth.
Go ahead, Nia Song.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I don't know, I was kicked out. I don't know what happened. So I only came back and realized that I've been out for a while. So please, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not following the trend. So
okay, no problem. So you can catch up later. Let's go to Miss Elizabeth G. If she has any comments or questions, kindly unmute yourself. Miss Elizabeth G, are you there? Okay.
Yes, I'm there. Good evening.
Good evening.
I just wanted to listen. I'm just a listener.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me go to Ethel. Ethel, do you have any questions, remarks, or comments, either for Dr. Foyabo or Dr. Fletcher? You are muted.
Yes. Good evening or afternoon, everyone. My name is Ethel, and Dr. Foyabo is my big sister. I am just here to say that everybody's experience matters. Different people have different children with different needs. And when she spoke about family support, that's us. And that stems from knowing what the situation is. Our culture, Cameroon, I'm not going to say Africa. It might be Africa. But for right now, I'm just going to say where we are from locally, because I do remember somebody asking where we're from, as in the village. So that's where I'm going. We don't talk about disability. It's just the way it is. That's how our forefathers came up. That's how the culture came up. So it's nobody's fault. But now that we have lived and we have learned, we now understand that we have to talk about disability because we have these children and we are now in today's world. And so we can be resources for each other. So the book covers a lot of resources. Somebody else also spoke about if you don't have family or friends, which my sister answered by saying, then the first thing you do is accept the diagnosis. Tell it to the next person that you know. It could be your neighbor. That neighbor might have a resource for you. So the very first thing is the acceptance, and then do some work. Learn from other people. Read up on things. When you go to your medical appointments, ask your professionals. Go to join groups of women or families that are experiencing those kinds of things. That's what I would suggest as a resource. If you're somebody whose hands can reach a little further into the system of health and human services, for example, social work, and all those things in your environment, you can go there and try to start a propaganda, try to start a reform, something that's going to help change the laws and regulations. That's
That's what
the
Dr.
higher.
Karen did.
Everybody is not able to attain that higher level. So you go to your local community center, your local social health services, and get information, pamphlets, read them up. Talk to other people when you go to, you can be sitting in a hospital waiting to see a doctor. In that hospital room, there are parents there. You don't know them. They all came there for one reason and another. Start to talk, and you will get some information. You can get something, a number, a name, and you take it from there. So that's
Awesome.
all I really have to say. The book is a resource. Share it with each other, share it with other people. Some people, not to say this is the only resource, there's so many other resources. But when you're in a situation where you have kids with needs, you cannot limit the amount of resources that you can use. You can get one thing from this book, get another thing from that book, get something from this person, get this from another person, put it all together for the betterment of your child. So
Awesome.
thank you all for this platform. Thank you all for talking about the book. It is experience lived. It is resources. It is knowledge to be shared with other information that you gather as you go around and trying to get the best life for your child. Thank you.
Powerful, the well spoken, and you're right. Dr. Fletcher, please don't forget to put your book in the chat. Like she says, you are in the East Coast, Dr. Foyabo is in the West Coast. We still have 4 minutes, Ambassador Lisa, so let me go to Miss Marion. She's been on from the beginning. Kindly unmute yourself if you have a comment or a question. You know, the mic is yours, Miss Marion. Kindly unmute yourself. Marion, are you there? If not, let's go to Tabo, Glory, Tabo, kindly unmute yourself. Oh no, Marion, go ahead. You have unmuted yourself.
Yes, Your Highness. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Judith Foyabo for shining light to a topic that is so well needed in our community. I think I've read the book. I was very inspired by it. And I know that as we continue to spread the word, that this discussion is going to be something that our community leaders and our community members will start talking about it. So thank you.
Awesome. I say, Ugo, kindly unmute yourself, and after Ugo, Ambassador Lisa, when we get to the top of the hour, you can jump in. Ugo, the mic is yours. Kindly unmute yourself. You've been on to from the beginning. Where did he go? The mic, unmute yourself, Ugo. Ugo, you need to unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Okay, we can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself. Let me go.
Okay, sorry, right. I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I think I was, hi, Etta. Hi, Judith.
Thank you, Mr. Ugo.
Yeah. I was just telling Ethel, on my way to the airport this morning, I picked up your book and I couldn't put it down. All through my flight, I finished it. And it is inspirational. I mean, I'm from Nigeria, and I think one of the things I picked up from the book is the denial. I mean, people say, it's not my portion. It's not my portion. But that denial actually, like Judith put in her book, there might be a timeline that you need to get help for your child. And in the process of saying, it's not my portion, it's from the devil, it's from this, you miss that window. And to get it back becomes a big issue. I think in our communities, the main issue is getting people to accept the diagnosis. This is not from the devil. It has happened, it has happened. Seek help for your child.
Yes.
Whatever resources that are, I mean, we hide them. We don't talk about them. I told Ethel, I'm personally going to buy about 10 of those books and give it to people that I know that are going through all these issues. I mean,
wonderful.
It is so authentic that, in fact, I had goosebumps.
Yeah.
The guy sitting beside me in my flight was like, why are you shaking? I'm like, you won't understand this.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, for your vulnerability and making us come into contact with this book. I think it's going to change lives. Thank you, Judith. This is awesome.
So
Thank you.
powerful.
Thank you.
I'm about to go to Ambassador Lisa, but Gloria Table, you can weigh in when we come back because we're at the top of the hour. Just real quick, Mr. Ogo, what you said is so powerful. And I'm glad you mentioned, I don't know if you were in my head, you mentioned that you're going to buy 10 copies. I was actually going to announce during the announcement that we want everybody to not only buy the book, but to buy one copy, just one. If you can buy 10, fine, and bless somebody else.
Sure.
The Kindle version is less than $3. The physical book, I think, is about 15 right now, $15.99, less than $20. That is a gift. That is better than doing your nails, you know, or that is hamburger money. Actually, hamburgers are more expensive than $15.99. So, Ambassador Lisa, we're at the top of the hour. I'm going to go to you, and then Miss Gloria, we're going to come to you after the top of the hour, and then we'll get to the rest of the people. Over to you, Ambassador Lisa.
Thank you so much, Reverend Pam. We are going to play our anthem. It's about 5 minutes. We want you to take a break. If you're cooking dinner and you need to go check that pot, this is the time to go do it. Get a drink of water and meet us back here in about 5 minutes. But if you don't, stay here and enjoy the anthem for Africa Online.
Oh, Africa. Oh, no. Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people, with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind Africa Online Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey, Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does. To identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation. That's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans. Let's Let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. If we believe there will be education for everyone, if we believe prosperity for Africans, if we believe medical facilitation for Africans, if we believe stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is the cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the Africa Online Miracle Jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. No more lies. Africans own Africa.
No more lies. Africans own Africa. And that song, our theme, was written by our chairman, Reverend Dr. Her Royal Highness, Reverend Dr. Pam. And no, I still ain't got it together yet. And we are just so grateful that we have that as our anthem. We own full rights to that song. We're not borrowing. We don't need permission from anybody. That was written, the words and the music was by our DJ Skip, and the words by our very own chairman. Announcements. What's up for next week?
Thank you. Actually, okay. You still need to say my name, whether you like it or not. So next week,
Reverend Dr. Her Royal Highness Reverend Dr. Pam Fumina.
Fumunon. Oh my God.
Fumunon.
Okay. All right. I love you too much anyway. So next week we are. Yeah, that's Ambassador Liza's favorite song in the whole wide world. Miss Gloria, we're coming to you, but next week we're going to be talking about left-handedness, which is a problem on the continent, even here among our people. We'll talk about ambidextrous and mixed-handedness. And guess what? The special guest is somebody that I met through Dr. Foyabo's book launch. Like I said at the beginning, Mission Beyond Diagnosis is actually a mission beyond diagnosis, you know. So Dr. Benedict Kilo will be our guest speaker next week. I know that in Cameroon, children who are left-handed, sometimes they put weights on their hands so they don't use that left hand. Sometimes they rub bitter stuff like bitter herbs there so they don't eat with it. It happened the same thing in Jamaica. My godmother is left-handed, but she was forced to eat with her right hands. You know, even though that trait appears just in 10% of the people, but in America here, I think President Barack Obama was left-handed. There are a lot of people who are left-handed. Oh, you are? Okay, well, if you're in Africa, you would have had a different experience. So we're going to be talking about next Sunday with Dr. Benedict Kilo. She has a powerful testimony about that. I had a meeting with her, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, and I had goosebumps. I could not, I'm like, you know what? You need to come on this program. So it is amazing what people, like I said, I met her through Dr. Foyabo's, Dr. Judith Foyabo, and even though she's an expert in this topic we are talking about today, but that's not what she'll be discussing next Sunday. So, Ambassador Lisa, before I hand over to you, I think Miss Gloria's hands are hurting. Yes. I think we should go to her so she can rest her hands.
Good afternoon, everybody, and
Good
happy
afternoon.
Sunday. You know, originally I just wanted to listen, but I have been inspired by everything I've been hearing from the people. But before I begin, I just want to say how proud I am of Dr. Foyabo. She's not only a personal friend, she is a classmate. But I'm not talking about this because she is my friend. She knows one time we hosted a talk on children with special need, and I was one of the invited guest speaker. And I talk from a perspective of a teacher because I am a special education teacher. And anybody who knows, we the teachers, we are the biggest advocates for our children, those children who have special needs, who have those disabilities. And working in an environment, I realized that the ordinary person who has never dealt with children who have this special need, who need this special support, do not know exactly and do not understand the issues that these children go through and their parents. And not every parent is supportive, unfortunately. Some parents will go all the way to make sure that whatever they could help for their children to come and function like a normal child will do that. But most parents are not committed to that, which is sad. But my sister and friend, Judith, the first time she talked to me about it, it was so passionate. And it all stemmed from a program like this. When she heard me talk, she called me after and we spoke more. And then she told me about her children and what she's been going through with those children. I tell you, ever since we talked about it, this thing has not left my brain even for a second. Because every time I reflect on those children, her book, it's not only a book. It's a kind of vision. It's a revelation for those who don't know and those who because like I said, I work in a community, teachers from one school to the other, from one program, from one one place to the other. There are some people who look at these children like they are not worth being alive, and then they look at us who teach these children like we are not fully developed. So it's not something that's only common to the African community, but even the American society. I remember there was one of the workers, she could not come and open our door. She had to have either a glove or a sanitized paper for her for her to touch the door, the classroom in which we were. And yet we embrace these children, we eat from the same plate with them. That's to tell you that we look at them like human beings. I always have this saying, no parent goes to the store just like you go to the store and then you want to pick the bad product. Everybody wants the best. But if you find yourself in a situation like this, do not deny, because there are many more children in our community that have this need and they need help. But the parents, they just kind of try to hide it. For how long are you going to hide? And then you are being tormented when you hide all those information. Speak out. There are parent community, there are resources, there are people, educationists, and so many who are willing and will be able to provide you resources so that you can be at peace, so that you should be able to look at your child as normal, dress up this child very good, and let this child be in the society. That's a learning for other people. I'm just going to stop because there's a lot I could say about these children, but I love them with passion. I have some of them in my families. Nobody wanted to pick those, but when God has blessed you, because it's better to have them than have nothing, God has blessed you with that. Count your blessing and seek help, seek solution. Seek a community where you work together for the best.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, Miss Gloria, thank you for
Maglo.
sharing your experience. Thank you for sharing your experience. Unfortunately, I always say ignorance is a disease. I mean, this disability is not contagious. So if somebody wants to wear gloves before touching your door, We just need to pray for them because they are
Indeed.
ignorant. They really are. And even in the comment, just to piggyback to what she said before, Mr. Richard Armstrong, we're going to go to you next, and then ADC Realty, then they will hand over to the anchors. But I want to say this, you know, sometimes people think the parents did something or ate something. It's not the parents' fault. And there are parents that blame themselves. Please do not blame yourself. God formed that child and put that child in your womb. You know, so don't blame yourself, don't blame God. There's a reason. If Dr. Foyabo did not go through what she went through, we will not be having this program today. Other family members will not be educated. We are sensitizing our community about this situation, and she may not realize the impact of what her book has had, but it doesn't matter because lives are going to be impacted for generations to come, because this program is not going to come down. It's going to stay on the air. And we're going to share the YouTube link is there. Share it with all your networks so that more people can be educated. And even in the schools, I'm glad our sister talked about being a teacher. Share it in the schools in particular, because here, at least in this country, there are special needs classes. In Africa, they don't. Most countries don't. So we need to share this thing, even share with government officials so they can start doing something about this. Let's go to Mr. Armstrong. Kindly unmute yourself, and then we'll go to where's ADC? There's somebody with a Samsung, and I think after that the anchors can take it from there. We would have gone through everybody. Mr. Richard, the mic is yours. You've been on from the beginning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Wish everyone a wonderful, blessed day. And I just want to say that I'm grateful to be a part of this conversation. And you know, there's some really great information about the sort of the cultural differences, um, you know, surrounding healthcare and just, you know, how we sort of culturally, you know, address these sorts of issues. And so I have to laugh because, you know, I'm left-handed, and I know just being left-handed, you know, there was a lot of angst for me early on in life trying to change, you know, me to doing different things, and it never worked. But I will say that it sort of raises, you know, that whole idea about, you know, our cultural strengths, but also cultural limitations. And so that's something that I think, you know, we need to think a little bit harder about and a little bit more deeply, because at the end of the day, you know, we need to optimize ourselves and the people around us, including our family. And, you know, we need our culture to help us to do that and not limit us. And so, yeah, there's still more work to be done, but I love this conversation. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. Hopefully you'll be here next Sunday to share your story about being left-handed. And I just found out after 100 years of working with Ambassador Lisa that she's left-handed. So I'm glad we are tackling this story because I did not know that. You know, so Mr. Armstrong, please come on next Sunday. It's the same Zoom coordinates, same time. Invite your friends. We want to hear your story. Let's go real quick to ADC Realtor. Kindly unmute yourself. You've been on from the beginning, and then we're going to, after him, we're going to go to Samsung F9. ADC, can you unmute yourself? I'm sorry, I can't address you properly because I don't know your name. Either ADC or Samsung F9, kindly unmute yourself. The mic is yours. If you have any questions for Dr. Foyabo or any remarks, the mic is yours. ADC, are you there? All right. If not, I'm going to hand back over to the anchors. Whenever they unmute, if you want to weigh in, please just raise your hand. Over to you, Ambassador Lisa.
And I'm going to turn it over to Nia Sung at this moment.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Good afternoon.
Okay, she's on. She's on. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm using my phone, so I didn't know how to unmute on my phone. But my name is Maflo Fomuso. I am in Bowie, Maryland. I am so excited. My book got here around 10 yesterday evening, so I came home late because I was at a function. So I got about 4 a.m. to read it. And I got to this page, page 34. I don't know whether it was page 34, page 33. I think it was page 34. And in the middle of this page, it said, hmm, uh, then one day at church, a woman I had never met approached me. She said, when God chooses you to be a parent of special children, it's because you are a special kind of parent. Those children need a heart like yours. Rejoice. Her words pierced something deep in me. This is Dr. Foyabo writing. From that day on, I chose to see it differently. Perhaps God trusted me because I had handled one so well. He gave me another. That became my strength. So I took a picture of this page. My body was shaking, and I sent it to her via WhatsApp. And I said, "This page ministered to me, and it will minister to my niece. I have a niece who has 2 babies, all autistic, nonverbal. And I have always said to her, I changed her name to Queen. I call her Queen of the Castle because she does well as a housewife. I mean, with her husband, and then the babies are so nicely dressed. Unless you know the babies, you wouldn't even know they're nonverbal. So I want to buy this book for her, and I'm going to show her this page and say, you are special. God knew that these kids needed a mother like you, because every time she talks to me, I am just so blessed because I'm that aunt that my nieces and my nephews gravitate towards me. They come to me, they think I'm Mrs. Know-it-all, I can solve all problems. So when she sees me, she'll complain and she'll cry to me. And when she cries, I said, let me tell you something. You're the queen of the castle. Nothing can be above you. But I mean, I didn't know. I'm not equipped to help mothers who have this disability, children with this disability. But I think God has just given me sweet talk that I can just charm somebody. But oh, Dr. Foyabo, this page ministered to me, touched me, and as I am a teacher, so I've worked out of field, which means that out of my certification, I had to go get a certificate for special education, because when I worked out of field, I took care of medical handicap, nonverbal, all kinds of complicated cases because people didn't want to take the job. So I would say, let me just teach for 1 year and find out what it is all about. Oh, I remember my late mother came to the States and saw pictures of my children, the children that I taught during that year, in my living room. She said, why? You've not had your babies yet. Don't have pictures like this. I mean, why? I said, well, they're my students. Because they were on bean bags. They had trach, they had G-tubes, and all of that. My mother said, oh, please, no, please. But, you know, it's a cultural thing. And she thought that would bring me bad luck. Lo and behold.
Wow.
Yeah. So this
It's
book,
amazing. Thank you, Maflo.
Mission Beyond Diagnosis, it's going to go a long way. I cannot wait to read everything and then analyze every page and use it to minister to people, to talk to people about children. Children are a blessing, period. Thank you.
Maflo, thank you so much. Thank you. You brought tears to my eyes. Thank you. This is what we are talking about, and we are going to make sure this book gets converted into a movie, a documentary. You heard it online here. We are going to make sure that happens. We are going to make sure that happens because more people need to know about this. Maflo, that was powerful. If ADC Realtor is not able to join, I'm going to hand over to the anchors. Ambassador Lisa Aniasong, you can take it, and then I think we have a few more minutes. We can do the round of the table.
Yes,
Yes, thank you very much. I've been quiet most of the time because I was knocked out. I had to reinvent myself and come back as myself. Dr. Foyabo, thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much.
The first 5 years of my life in the United States, I was in a special education classroom for 5 years.
Wow.
Teaching, working with grades 1, 2, and 3 students. And when we talk about this, I know what it means. I understand it. So please, thank you. You are doing a great job. And for all of us on this forum this afternoon, please, whatever it is God's will. Let God's will be done, and let's take it and run with it and make sure that we implement it and make it something that people will accept, not reject. Thank you all very much. And please, Ambassador Lisa, you go. You may have the question. I don't have a question. I just want to appreciate Dr. Foyabo for what for what she's doing. Thank you all.
No, we're going to do the round of the table. That's your area.
Oh, you want me to go take a round of the table? Okay, I will start. Let me see at the bottom of my screen. I see Glory, who spoke a while ago. Glory, Tabo, please, if you can give us your last word as we wrap up today. Unmute, please. Everybody should unmute so that they access.
Last word.
Yeah, last word, please. Okay, Glory is not coming on. So let's go to Richard, please. Richard, please unmute. Okay, Glory, go ahead. Your last word.
My last word that I can say is kudos first to my Judith for taking this bold step, which a lot of time people don't do. I've met parents just suddenly, randomly, I don't know them, they don't know me, just because I recognize their children and we partnered as friends, and some will ask me, what would I do with this child? I don't know what to do with the child, and then those parents who are supportive, what can I do to help this child be better? What can I do to take this child to where we want the child to be? And Maju has beaten all of that. So I say kudos to her and every supporter, because I know everybody who is on this line right now is there to support her. Thank you all for being there for her. Maju, keep going.
Thank you very much. Ma Floor from Musa, you may be my neighbor in the neighborhood. So please take the floor and give us your last word. Ma Floor from Musa, please, your last word.
Ma Floor, please kindly unmute.
Unmute, please. Okay.
I think she was having, we'll come back to her.
Yes. Okay, Ethel, please. I'm going by the pictures I saw on my screen. Ethel, please unmute and tell us your last word. Okay. All right. In this case, I go to Richard, please. Richard, unmute and give us your last word.
Yes, thank you for your reminder that it is in our lives and our fate are in God's hands, and that we live according to his will and guided by his spirit. And I thank you for that reminder. And that definitely is something that hopefully we can take away and have that endure.
Thank you very much. Dr. Gloria, I know you're always my first person to go to, but I jumped you today. So Dr. Gloria, please, your last word.
It's okay. It's okay. Again, thank you so much, Her Excellency, Dr. Pam Fomanong, for this platform, to Prophetess Lisa, to Professor Nielsen for being here religiously every Sunday, to the keynote speaker, to all the guests, to the global audience, to my guests that I invited. And then Dr. Joshua, you'll have a moment to speak in a second. So I would just like to say my first experience with mentally challenged or children with disabilities is at the Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5 and all of them. Well, their aunt had a school for mentally challenged students, and it was called the Rich School, and it stood for, what RICH stands for. And I would volunteer as early as the 4th grade, go to school early, and I would go there to the trailer there to help the children who were disabled. And it got to a point to where, like, when they couldn't even wipe their nose. So I would wipe their nose for them. And when they would have episodes, they wouldn't let no one touch them except for me. And that's when I knew I had a calling. And nowadays, even though I am a journalist, we even have a sector within our group for journalists with disabilities that are challenged. And it's really unique, the experiences that they go through. So these children with disabilities, they grow up to be adults with real jobs. And Prophetess Lisa, she knows that all too well. And but they're in every sector of employment. So I just want to close by saying again, thanks to Dr. Fletcher. I know she couldn't stay with us today, but as Dr. Joshua may speak to this, but I think we all can use some mental health. And I'm part of a group called Every Dot Black. We meet every Monday night, and we have someone who has a disability that can't speak. So he uses some kind of technology, and his name is Antonio Human. He calls himself the Human, and he says the question. He gives a quote every night, every Monday night, and he says the question is not who will try and stop me, but the real question is who can. And that has stuck with me. And what we normally do in the platforms where we know people are disabled is we start out, instead of saying our names, well, we say our names, but we also describe ourselves to the people who might be visually impaired. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I see
you so much.
Marflo from Muso is
Thank
now
you.
unmuted. I see Marflo from Muso is
Please.
unmuted. Your last
Yes,
word,
please.
please.
I am unmuted. I want to seize this opportunity to really thank Her Royal Highness Dr. Pamela Fomunung for this platform. When I joined earlier, I thought it was Chat Africa because I just saw Dr. Asonglefan Keblekek's name, and I thought of Mr. Divine Chamukong at Chat Africa. I didn't know this is a different platform, but I'm happy that I've gotten to know this platform, and I'll be joining next Sunday because I know Dr. Benedict Kilo as well.
Awesome.
Thank you.
To my junior sister, Dr. Judith Foyabo, I am so proud of you. You have touched my heart with this book. I am a lover of children, and it doesn't matter how they come into this world. So let's all love children because they're all unique in their ways or in how they came into this world. And there's nothing that God does that is wrong. He knew these babies when they were formed in their mother's wombs or before they were even formed in their mother's wombs. So for that reason, let's learn to equip ourselves with the skills, the methods, and the techniques that are going to help us to be the best that we can be, to raise these children in the utmost care. Whether they're verbal or non-verbal, they're all our children. So, Dr. Mrs. Foyabo, again, thank you for reminding us that we have to learn to live with everybody, despite their disabilities. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was going to call on Dr. Josue, but it looks like she stepped away.
I'm here.
Okay, Dr. Dr. Charlotte, please. Dr.
Yes.
Josue.
Look, guys, Dr. Pen
Your
from
first and last word.
Yes, my first word is that thank you for sharing, Dr. The doctor who shared. And the other thing I want to say is that my goal is with Dr. Penfront to be committed. It's about brain health, Dr. Gloria. We can help. My goal is to dedicate it to help Black women, Black African women, to have the brain health to create the best health, to create the finances you need. And so, Dr. Penfront, I want to work with you also so we can go to Africa and teach people how to use their brain to create the ecosystem we need as a function of brain health. But thank you.
Awesome.
And okay, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much.
Yeah.
Ambassador Lisa, your turn to give your last word.
Thank you, Professor Nia-san. I have enjoyed our conversation for today, but Psalms 127 verse 3 says, "Know this, children are a gift from the eternal. The fruit of the womb is his reward." Whatever child you have, it is a gift. Whether your child is functioning, has a dysfunction or disability, my boss at my job was the first one to change the narrative and the verbiage concerning children with disabilities. We changed from mental health and mental retardation to behavioral health and intellectual disability. And we spelled disability with a small d and a capital A. And when we did that, we saw our agencies, the children in our care and our agencies change. You have the power to bring that change not only to your home with your personal children, or whether you're working with an agency or you're working with your family, you're that village for that child. That child is a gift from God, and you are blessed with his child. Do the best you can. Get the resources that you need. Meet people. As our speaker said today, stop denying and just embrace the diagnosis. Embrace that child, and you will find the strength and the village that you need to help raise productive children in society. Again, we are Africa Online. We are here every Sunday from 4 to 5:30, talking about a variety of topics that will bless, educate, inform, and empower those on the continent and those of us in the diaspora as well. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook, like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Nia-san.
Thank you very much. What I did when I was in the elementary school in Montgomery County Public Schools was I made it possible for the school system to start not calling people disabled, but call them mentally or physically challenged. The word challenge was the one that was used, not disability. We tried to make sure that we made everybody understand that they were challenged, not disabled. So we tried to put that in the language. So Reverend Pam, your turn.
Yeah, let me say this. I dare to change it from disability to special abilities. You know, Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life and the power of the tongue. What you say is what you get. So we may think they are disabled because they look different from us, they can't do what we think they are supposed to be doing, but they have special abilities. I just don't want to call somebody's name, but one of the richest person in this world is on the spectrum. I'm not going to narrow it down because everybody will know who I'm talking about. Not that it's anything bad, but I'm just saying we really need to be careful. And for the parents, whatever you tell your child growing up, that's what they're going to become. Like Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child the way they should go, and when they grow up, they will not depart. So if you have a child with special abilities, let them know that they are the best of the best. Don't tell them that they are less than the other people. If somebody, okay, I'll give you an example. I don't know how many of you saw the movie Good Hair. Chris Rock was prompted to do that movie because somebody was making fun of his daughter's hair. And that movie not only did a global mind shift. Since 2009, chemical has not touched my hair. One person can make a difference. When you start telling your children, or you have special abilities, they will look at it like a gift, not a disability. We African, that like I said, a chemical has not touched my hair since 2008. And there are many African descendants who stop frying their hair because of that movie, because our hair is very versatile. So what am I saying? There are children that we think have disability, but they have special abilities. Some of them can do things on the computer that you and I cannot do. So let's start calling them children with special abilities and remove the challenge. What you think is a challenge to you is not a challenge to them. It's amazing what these children can do, things that you and I cannot do. So on behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation, Dr. Foyabo, I am so proud of you. Like I said on the forum, bring a suitcase full of these books to Accra. We're going to do an in-person book launch in Accra, Ghana. I want to remind everyone, buy the book and also buy at least a copy to bless someone. We had our brother, Mr. Ugo, was it Mr. Ugo? Yeah, earlier said he's going to buy 10 copies. The Kindle version is only $2.99. The book is $15.99. That is, let's just give up that junk food that you were going to buy and get a book and bless somebody. Thank you so much, and let's make this book reach the ends of the earth. Over to you, Niaso.
And don't forget, Valentine's Day is just a few days away. Please, that could be your Valentine's Day gift to that special friend you've been thinking about. Dr. Foyabo, thank you very much. Don't go away without summarily telling us the final word that you have in mind.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for all what you've done just bringing this platform to your viewers, attendees, and I'm just looking at Prophetess Lisa Parks, and what she said just brought everything into perspective. You said something about D in lowercase and A in uppercase. That is what chose the school my son now attends. Their department for people with different abilities is written with a little d and a big A. That was enough. I didn't have to go to all other places, and thank God he had the admission also, but I had it in my mind. So I just wanted to say that thank you. It is a matter of highlighting those amazing abilities that they have. That is what carried me through this book. And I want to leave a message for the people that have neurotypical children. These are the people that, quote unquote, I don't have one of those. They are parents of children that are not the children we're talking about. My message is for you right now, because you believe you are invincible. You believe that you may be in a better place because you're not in our world. But this is what made me write that book. It's really for the people that don't have those challenges, believe it or not. The point at which I got the aha moment was I found out my children could never be protected. What do I mean by that? Financial foresight. That's the second part of that story. We talked a lot more about the determination, the resilience, the disability, and all whatnot. But the big part is that financial foresight. When you have a neurotypical child and you are playing with protecting that child because they're happy and healthy, they are just one step away from being denied. When that diagnosis shows up, nobody knows. Even a trip to the ER can bring you into the realm of not insurable, the realm of pre-existing condition. That space is what made me a financial professional. I do not want anyone else to be blindsided. Go get your child and your family protected. And for those of you who already have children with special needs and have a hard time getting that, I managed to get that for one child, but not the other. It was too deep for the other. That's my message for those of you with neurotypical children. And thank you for buying the book. Thank you for coming online. Thank you for just being there to receive my vulnerability. And make sure you get someone else to enjoy what you have enjoyed. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Niason. Thank you, the prophetess. And thank you, Mapam, the Reverend Her Royal Highness. I cannot wait to be in Ghana soon enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Foyabo. Thank you, audience. Thank you, every participant in this program. Please, we're here, as you heard Ambassador Lisa say, every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Please make it a date with Africa Online Media Corporation. Thank you all.